event today. As indicated, I'm Peter Milton Rukundo from the Nutrition Society of Uganda, but also a lecturer at Chairperson University. And we have been working together with the Right2Grow from the time when they developed the idea of having this launched in Uganda. And really, I have to thank you very much for dedicating time to join us at this point. And perhaps before we proceed, I was thinking we would start with an opening prayer, then we launch into the program. So I wanted to invite someone who's more religious than myself, at least to give us an opening prayer, then we can start. So Rosette, you're my immediate pick. If you don't mind, Rosette, an opening prayer. Sorry. We are told the guest of honor is arriving, so maybe let's officially start when she's in the room. Thank you. Minister, you're welcome. We are going to start with an opening prayer. We're also requesting that there are anthems, but it seems there was a challenge. So I will first of all invite Rosette to give us an opening prayer.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's humble ourselves for prayer. You're welcome, Minister. Thank you. Heavenly Father, we want to thank you so much for a time like this. We thank you, Lord, for keeping us safe up this point in time. And we thank you for the launch, for the Right2Grow, which has been officially represented by different civil societies and also other global partners. We want to thank you for the presence of the minister who is here to officiate it. We pray, oh Heavenly Father, that you will be here with us as we go ahead to launch the program for the future of Ugandans and especially children under 5 and above. We thank you. We bless your name. We pray that today will be a day that we'll remember when Uganda starts off a very important program to bring about change in this nation. We give you praise. In Jesus' name we pray.
Thank you so much. You may take your seats. The Right Honorable Justin Kasule Lumumba, the Minister in charge of General Duties, we are very grateful that you'd be able to join us, Right Honorable. I'm called Peter Milton Rukundo, a lecturer from Chairperson University and also a member of the Nutrition Society of Uganda. Right Honorable, we are very glad that you join us today on an occasion when we launch the Right2Grow, a new initiative by civil society to champion the rights of the child at this era when we all say that we leave no one behind in ensuring that we develop sustainably and above all, we prepare the young generation for a bright future. Right Honorable, before us, we have a cross-section of civil society representation, but also we have representation from the Office of the Prime Minister, led by the Commissioner, Strategic Coordination and Implementation, Mr. Jose Stegeza. We also have a senior nutrition consultant in that office, Mr. Charles Asimwe, but also with us is the country director of the Hunger Project, Dr. Daisy Uwomugasho. We have also with us here representatives from the Nutrition Society of Uganda. We have representatives from Save the Children. We have from the World Vision. We also have from National Planning Authority, they are joining us. We also hope that the Dutch ambassador to Uganda and his team will be joining us. We also have representation from the one local government of Kabale in southwestern Uganda. There's someone who will give us some testimonies. We also have members from the religious and cultural institutions of Uganda with us represented here. So, Right Honorable Minister, we really thank you very much, and we hope that today we shall join other countries of the world where this program has been launched to champion for the rights of the child. Without really going much further, in the interest of time, Right Honorable Minister, allow me at this point in time to invite the director of the Hunger Project, Dr. Daisy Uwomugasho, to give us some remarks.
Thank you. Honorable Minister Justine Lumumba, here representing the Prime Minister and in your capacity. We are still expecting His Excellency, the Deputy Head of Mission for the Dutch Embassy in Uganda. I think he's coming in shortly. Government representatives from the various ministries and agencies, country directors from the civil society organizations we work with. Yes, the ambassador is coming. You're welcome. Welcome, Your Excellency. That is Mr. Just van Etro, who is the Deputy Head of Mission at the Dutch Embassy, one of our long-standing partners in the issues of the rights of children, and particularly girls. So, I also want to take this opportunity to recognize members of the Right2Grow Consortium, all protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen. Madam Honorable Minister and our distinguished guests, we are very delighted to have you here with us today as we launch the 5-year Right2Grow project. It's such an honor to have such distinguished guests as yourselves with us here today. Thank you for joining us. We are so grateful. Madam Honorable Minister, at the Hunger Project, our mission is to end hunger and poverty, which also includes ensuring that our communities where we work not only have enough food, but food that is also adequate and nutritious across all age groups, but most especially for those under 5, where the consequences are more severe and may last a lifetime. So it's therefore a heartening time for me, for the Hunger Project, and for all our consortium members to have this day and event where the importance of child growth and development is being appreciated and addressed at a national level with a cross-section of distinguished persons such as yourselves. If I may go back a bit, stunting is a devastating complication of undernutrition and can be defined simply as being shorter than the average height for one's age. Nutrition not only affects one's weight and height, but also affects one's intellectual abilities, and therefore our nation's potential success. Therefore, if we, as a developing country, want to move forward as a nation, we have to invest in our country's future, our children. I want to start with a maybe short story. Recently, I visited one remote village, which was sort of, it's already in the village, but it's also off the main road. While there, it started raining and I had to take shelter. In the process, I started interacting with a group of young children, probably between the ages of 3, 10, 12 there, some of whom looked really hungry. Interestingly, they asked me what job I do. And for maybe lack of a better explanation, I told them that my job is to ensure that everybody in the whole world, especially in Uganda, has enough to eat, which was ironic because most were, at least looking at them, they looked hungry. On my part, remembering that we are in the period where we are looking at the food systems in preparation for the Food Systems Summit, I asked them what they wanted to see in the future in regard to food. Let's say maybe 10 years, in 2030. To my utter amazement, all of them, almost in unison, answered. They looked outside and said, "We wish it would be raining food." I looked at them, we looked at each other, and they were laughing and excited at the prospect. But now, can you take a moment to imagine how it would look like if it was raining food? Where would all the food go? How would it look like? How much hunger can cause somebody to wish it was raining food? So as I was preparing for today, this story came back to me, and it's still profound. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know we have improved on food production, achieved recognizable positive adjustment on food security, but undernutrition continues to be a challenge. In 2016, the prevalence of starving was at 29% in Uganda. A situation analysis by UNICEF indicated that 49% of the children under 5 were anemic, and nearly 570,000 were dying annually because of stunting. So, yes, malnutrition still contributes to the vicious cycle of poverty, particularly among the poor households, both within Uganda, urban and rural settings. So, Madam Minister, early this year, the Hunger Project Uganda went into partnership with the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs to initiate the Right2Grow project. And before I go on, I wish to, through you, Mr. Deputy Head of Vision, to extend our sincere appreciation to the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs for financing this project and supporting us all through, and also for your office, for the embassy in particular, for the wonderful relationship we have enjoyed over the years. Thank you. So as I was saying, the project is a consortium involving several international and local organizations within Uganda and abroad. The project is covering 6 countries in the world, including Uganda. And the Hunger Project is leading organization in Uganda, working in partnership with World Vision. May I request the World Vision country director or representative? Also, Action Against Hunger. Okay, Action Against Hunger. Center for Economic Governance and Accountability, or the Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group, CSBAG. You're welcome. We also work with other civil society organizations, including Food Rights Alliance. Agnes is there. The Nutrition Society of Uganda. Community Integrated Development Initiative. I think we had somebody hidden. The Movement for Community-Led Development and the Community for Community-Led Development. So we as institutions in this project have various expertise in nutrition and water and sanitation and health, hygiene, advocacy, budget tracking, monitoring, and community-led development. We are working together, and we wish to continue working together with the central and local government, ministries, agencies, departments, all the decision makers and other key stakeholders, such as your esteemed office, the Office of the Prime Minister, to ensure that undernutrition, particularly among children under 5 years, is effectively addressed through the adoption of multi-sectoral, gender-sensitive, and inclusive methods. Most of us know that multidimensional causes of undernutrition include, among others, poor feeding and child care, inadequate adaptation to some changes, poor sanitation and hygiene practices, poverty and shortage of nutritious and diversified foods, which has been aggravated by COVID-19, as seen during the most recent lockdown. So the Right2Grow project is a high-impact nutrition intervention that aims at strengthening civil society to advocate for an enabling environment to tackle stunting for children under 5 in Uganda. Madam Minister, the project is contributing to Objective 3 of the second Uganda Nutrition Action Plan, which seeks to strengthen the enabling environment of scaling up nutrition in Uganda at all levels by strengthening district and sub-county nutrition coordination committees. So as a consortium, we shall be building on evidence of community-led, locally sourced solutions that involve both nutrition and water sanitation and hygiene to effectively address undernutrition in a gender-sensitive and inclusive way. Madam Honorable Minister, we strongly believe that the Right2Grow project will also significantly contribute in the implementation of the parish development model across the 7 pillars in all the 10 districts where we'll be operating. This will be in the districts of Kamwenge, Bulisa, Kakumiro, Adjumani, Arua, Chikube, Nwoya, Maracha, Bugweri, and Kabale. So, as Right2Grow partners, we have intentions of mobilizing communities and households to adopt good nutrition and wash practices through community-led approaches. Our focus is particularly inclusive of breastfeeding mothers, most vulnerable children under 5 years, and adolescent mothers. At the end of the 5 years of the project, communities will be aware of their rights to better food, nutrition, and wash services. And we expect to have reduced the levels of stunting in Uganda significantly. So it's no wonder that I'm extremely excited that the Office of the Prime Minister, as well as the government, is tackling the problem of undernutrition in our children as a national priority. We thank you so much. And we also look forward to the day when all children, regardless of where they live in Uganda, have the chance to live and develop to their full potential. So as I conclude, I would also like to urge all stakeholders, all concerned parties, communities, hunger project partners, consortium members, everybody to work with us so that together we can achieve the intended objective of the Right2Grow project. I strongly believe that our efforts are essential in working towards a healthy future for our children in our country, Uganda. And as the Hunger Project and the consortium in general, we are proud to be part of the process. So let's make it happen for God and my country.
Thank you so much, Dr. Daisy Wamgasho, Right Honorable Minister, Deputy Head of Mission, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we welcome you and we thank you for joining us. For those who have just joined in, we are very glad that you're able to dedicate some time to join us to launch this very key consortium called the Right2Grow, or R2G in short. As Dr. Daisy has rightly put it, this consortium is coming in to help government in its efforts to leave no child behind in an effort to end malnutrition. It's timely, as indicated. It's already in 6 countries of the world, and therefore Uganda is among the countries taking lead in making that commitment to ensure that we improve the well-being of children as a pillar for future development. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me, take your indulgence of the program, to adjust a little bit so that the Dutch ambassador can come a bit later due to protocol. And at this point in time, allow me to invite the Commissioner, Strategic Coordination and Implementation at the Office of the Prime Minister to give us some key highlights of what government is doing to improve nutrition of children and the rest of the population. And then once we have heard that those remarks, then the Dutch ambassador will be coming in at that point. Thank you very much for that change.
It's okay. The Right Honorable Minister for General Duties, Office of the Prime Minister, Your Excellency, Deputy Head of Mission, Dutch Embassy, Country Director, Hunger Project, and lead partner in the consortium, partners in the consortium, government officials, distinguished participants at this gathering, at this launch, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you for the invitation you have extended to government, technical and political, and for giving us opportunity to make a presentation on how we are partnering with you as government to ensure that nutrition outcomes are realized. My name is Joseph Stejeza. I'm Commissioner for Strategic Coordination at Office of the Prime Minister. And I'm going to present under a theme, nutrition programming and coordination under UNAP 2, Uganda Nutrition Action Plan 2, and I will concentrate on opportunities and potential collaboration areas for the Right2Grow key stakeholders. Ladies and gentlemen, good nutrition is a catalyst for social and economic transformation, human development, and well-being. I want to put it on the screen there. Better.
Sorry for that, we are trying to get the technology fixed. It's a PowerPoint.
Why don't you leave it and I just present? I think we can leave.
Perhaps you can proceed with yours.
Let's save time.
Next we shall continue.
Let's put it back. Put it back at phone. Yeah, sorry for that. I was mentioning that good nutrition is a catalyst for social and economic transformation and is also a buffer against infectious diseases and epidemics, including COVID, like the country director has just mentioned. We recognize that nutrition is a multifaceted animal, whereby different players must come in. And there has always been concern that how does Office of the Prime Minister come into nutrition? Food matters are for Minister of Health. Food matters are for Minister of Agriculture. But we come in to recognize as government that there are many facets to the food or to the nutrition equation. And many players who cut across government, who cut across different players, and we therefore come in for the simple reason of coordination and ensuring that we have no duplication, we have no overlaps, and we have coherence in achieving our outcomes for nutrition. Countries rated strong by the World Health Organization are those that have had their governments committed to having nutrition strategies and plans, and which have had their plans embedded in the national development plans, and functional intersectoral committees created, and also nutrition information routinely collected and reviewed, and budgets allocated for nutrition strategies and plans. I'm mentioning that to set the context for our interface with you as government, and you'll bear witness that as government of Uganda, these have been at our heart, and you'll realize as we progress through today's meeting that all these have been done. It may be at 99%, it may be at 100, but they are all efforts, and we are doing it together. So I'm saying that to set the context for the UNAP 2 and why we are here as government working with you. Before I go to UNAP 2, I want to talk about the comprehensive, Comprehensive National Development Planning Framework. Sorry, I had a note had gone on. The Comprehensive National Development Planning Framework is well known to you, and you know very well that we have got a Vision 2040, which I will not repeat, but which has elements of prosperity, which has elements of moving us out of poverty to happiness and all those good things in the vision. And all you partners and players will know that whatever we do plays into achieving this vision. There's a vision for UNAP 2, there's a vision for your consortium, there's a vision for your different groupings, but the whole point is that those are subvisions which play into the bigger vision which binds us together here. And that's Vision 2040. And under this Vision 2040, we have got plans. There are 6 that we are to do, and we are in the 3rd one. And I want to assure you, or probably remind you, because you are well aware, that in our NDP 3, we have done efforts, we have taken efforts to ensure that there is mapping with interventions with UNAP 2, and also with nutrition-specific, nutrition-sensitive, and also governance interventions to ensure that the overall nutrition outcomes are realized. Now, in the NDP 3, we have now adopted a programmatic approach, whereby we have programs with different institutions, which also give space to civil society to participate in the different program working groups, in the leadership committees, in the technical working groups that are therein. And I'm saying this in the context of UNAP 2, because UNAP 2 is not particular to any of the programs in NDP 3, but it cuts across several. And we have encouraged all players, all government, government leaders, and also government technical staff in all the programs to ensure that where we have a UNAP intervention, then they provide budget for it, and they also plan for it. So we have such strategies that cut across, and at Office of the Prime Minister, one of our major duties is to ensure that such strategies that cut across are catered for in each of the programs. Because if we left it to an individual ministry or individual program, it's likely that they would look for the interventions in that program or look for the objectives of that specific program and fail to get the whole picture. So we ensure that the strategy UNAP 2, which I'll talk about shortly, is embedded across all the programs. Below the programs, we have the PIAPs, or the Program Implementation Action Plans. It's an obligation that each program develops a Program Implementation Action Plan. And I'm certain that civil society has been part of these developments, and these PIAPs are therefore ours. The idea of PIAPs is the old sector development plans we used to have when we were into the sectoral approach. But now in the program, we have the PIAPs. In the programs, we have the PIAPs, which means that the old sector development plans now collapse. And therefore, I call upon you and urge you to take interest in knowing interventions where, interventions in the PIAPs, where your actions in individual entities lie. And we want all MDAs to do strategic plans. Now MDAs are the ministries, departments, and agencies under the different programs. And as they do these strategic plans, we also encourage you, civil society and members of the private sector, to be part of these strategic plans. Now these are the operationalization of the PIAPs. Each of these operationalizes the other. PIAPs operationalize the broader NDP3, and the strategic plans operationalize the PIAPs. And then there are annual plans, which you may participate in monitoring, and which you may participate in ensuring that your actions are filtered to the lowest level. But overall, I wanted to bring out this comprehensive national development framework that is comprised of these, so that you see the location and setting of the UNAP 2. I will not dwell so much on the UNAP 2 because it's a detailed document, but I want to mention that last year, the second Nutrition Action Plan was approved by government to provide the strategic direction for scaling up nutrition at levels in Uganda during the next 5 years. And I know that this Right2Grow project and the various partners in the consortium will abide by what is in the UNAP 2, because that's the overarching framework for nutrition activities, interventions, and deliverables. So the goal of the UNAP 2 is to improve the nutrition status of children under 5 years, school-age children, adolescents, pregnant and lactating women, and other vulnerable groups by 2025. And the first objective, there are 3 broad objectives, is to increase access and utilization of nutrition services that address immediate causes of poor nutrition status. And the second one is about underlying causes. And the third one is strengthening the enabling environment for scaling up nutrition-specific and nutrition-sensitive services. And each of these objectives, much as they look small, has got many strategies and priority actions which are detailed in the UNAP 2 document. When you get a copy, like I believe you have got as you developed your project, you'll find that there are responsibilities and there are roles of the different players and different partners in implementing the UNAP 2. Now, the coordination of UNAP, which is the major theme of my presentation, cannot be presented without me alluding to the national architecture of coordination. Office of the Prime Minister has got a constitutional mandate to coordinate government business and policies and implementation, and under this constitution, Cabinet in its wisdom in 2015 passed a national coordination policy which provides mechanisms for mitigation of service delivery challenges and enhances efficiency and effectiveness of services. I will not go deeply into the coordination policy, but I will just highlight 8 areas where the coordination policy focuses. Institutional synergies. As you come together as partners in the consortium, we expect that you will have synergies amongst yourselves. We do not want situations whereby actions are being done, all activities are being carried out by a role player, but you find that they are not synergized with the other actors, and yet we are looking towards a common outcome. And we believe this has been done because at the Office of the Prime Minister, our technical expert, Mr. Charles Asimwe, I believe has been working with you, and we believe that this has been done. We cherish prioritization. This is in the context of government programs, but we believe that resources are always limited in terms of human, in terms of financial. And we know that you have prioritized to make sure that the government priorities in the NDP3 are rhyming or are in alignment with the project that we are going to see in the next 5 years. We minimize overlaps and duplication. We want standardization. We do not want reports that cannot be read or actions which you do that are not standardized to either international standards that we have subscribed to or our own national standards that are set by the different authorities in government. We expect you to manage the cross-cutting issues and functions and take care of them in this project. And of course, the 4 E's or the 3 E's in government programs we know can also be reflected or translated to this project. And also to ensure capacity of HR or human resources is our mission. And we know that in the private sector, probably you could be better than government in this human resource capacity, and we want a partnership there where we have limited resource in terms of human resources, please come in through technical assistance and other ways, and even within your project to ensure that gaps are filled. And we have strategic engagement in regional and in the international arena. I know this project is well aligned to the SDGs, the 2030 Global Agenda, and this is also our mission, and we have got a dedicated SDG Secretariat at Office of the Prime Minister, and when matters relate to SDGs, you are always welcome to Office of the Prime Minister for support and even for partnership to ensure that commitments that we have made at global level and even at regional level, Africa 2063 agenda, the South African community, will align to and are implemented. So you're always welcome for this support, and we also want you to welcome us to your side in terms of where you're better than us or where you have lessons to learn from you so that we achieve together. Now, this institutional framework I've been talking about has got a big principle which we call connectedness. We want civil society, private sector, government, academia, and all others to be connected. And the way we do this is through this institutional framework, which is a pronouncement of cabinet. And when you look at the dotted line, cutting across, it's showing a level where the Office of the Prime Minister comes to take over. And it's taking over, not that to do it alone, but it's a point of redress. And below the line, the point is that all players are allowed space to do whatever they want. So when you look at the sector working groups, which are now program working groups and MDAs, you are allowed to come together without inviting us and do your work and tease out your activities to achieve the objectives of the NDP3 or to achieve the objectives of the UNAP2. The local governments can do the same, the citizens, development partners. But now when you think that there is an issue that is beyond you in terms of roadblocks to action or impediments to action or any hurdles that may stop you from coming or from progressing with your action, either by another partner or by your own limitations. Now, at that next level, we have got a technical implementation coordination committee, which is chaired by Office of the Prime Minister Permanent Secretary, and that is the level where all the technical experts come together. And these experts are not necessarily government. You can write to us, or we can call you depending on what we know. And we say, let's sit on the table and discuss. We don't only discuss things that have failed, but we also welcome successes. You can also come to discuss success at that level. But the whole point is that at that level, we now have different people coming together, or even others from the other groupings, to achieve or to see how a certain objective has failed to be achieved. So the importance of that level is that it's the highest technical level and it's made of permanent secretaries. So at that level, when it started, the idea was that all permanent secretaries would be members of that technical implementation committee. But with the time, it was realized that when there's a specific issue, it's better that the people who are concerned are the ones that are invited to save time and to focus the discussion. And therefore, we started what we call the thematic ticks. So if it's an issue of roads, and we know there's water, Minister of Water needed, or National Water and Sewage Corporation, we think there is UNRWA needed, or we think there's Chambogo University needed, we call the players whom we feel would sort the equation. Or even you can suggest the people who should come. So it gets addressed at the highest technical level of government. Then the next level are permanent secretaries, and this is for ownership. And then it goes to the Policy Coordination Committee, which is chaired by the Right Honorable Prime Minister, and this Policy Coordination Committee has equivalent merit to a subcommittee of cabinet. And at this level, political issues are sorted out, policy matters are sorted out, and actually if something is of a policy matter, it can go straight to the PCC, and this one is now the ministers in the respective, or the political heads of the concerned institutions, whether they are government or non-governmental. I'm emphasizing this coordination structure because this is the standard. When we talk about the UNAP coordination, it also aligns to this. Every coordination that is in government, whether SDG, Secretariat, Coordination, Architecture, whatever we do in government aligns to this. They will not be the same words, but the whole principle of giving room to people to discuss below the line is what we cherish, and then giving them room to come to government at the different layers, technical and then political. Now for the nutrition, we are forming platforms, and as the UNAP Secretariat, we have purposed to keep 5 platforms. The word platform these days is being confused with the digital setting and so on. But platform, we are being as simple as saying you are at a raised, like I'm raised here. You can be seen, you can be heard, you have a voice. So we are going to have a platform that are aligned to the global scaling up nutrition, and these are the networks we talk about: the business network, the development partners network, the academia and research network. And then we have the civil society network, this one of yours. And then we have our own, which you have been attending, the quarterly one, the multi-sector technical committee for nutrition. So we are thinking of keeping those 5 platforms for purposes of keeping business that is prime ministerial and business that is ministerial. We encourage you to use ministers and to keep prime ministerial business to prime ministerial. And when I say prime ministerial, I mean that business that has transcended a ministry, that is beyond one ministry and needs to be addressed by several ministries or several agencies. But when you think that some particular issue can be handled at the ministry level, then that is our idea. Because many people have come to us and they have said they have platforms and they have groupings, and we feel that we may not be well coordinated if we keep that arrangement. So we are not throwing out everyone, but we are saying when we have those platforms, everybody has space. So under your platform, you fit, you discuss your business, and you come with issues. We can come to those platforms to learn from you or as visitors, but we don't want a situation when Office of the Prime Minister has got 100 platforms for nutrition. So in that way, we can set standards, we can set objectives, and then the platforms will be our gauge of achievement in terms of realizing nutrition outcomes. So I'm concentrating on this framework because it's the basis from which we derived our architecture for the UNAP coordination of nutrition. So the coordination arrangements for UNAP at national level, we have a policy coordination committee, like I had mentioned, and we have an implementation steering committee, like you had seen earlier, and then we have the multi-sector nutrition technical coordination committee and ministries, departments, and agencies, MDAs. So each of the customization only brings in the word nutrition. When we build coordination architecture for another area, like SDGs also brings in SDGs, but the whole principle is the same. At subnational level, UNAP implementation is coordinated through city and district, city division, municipal, sub-county, town council, and the parish. And the coordination framework also provides for nutrition development partner, the groups I've just mentioned. All in all, our architecture goes up to the parish. And this is a big opportunity for you, as I'll mention later, and for us. Because as you know, the parish development model is now moving in such a way that we get to the lowest level, at least the parish level. This is the diagrammatic representation of what I have been saying. You may not read it. It may not be so clear, but you notice that it goes down up to the lowest, be it the town council, be it the sub-county. The town council is just a sub-county in town. So those are the levels, then to the wards, and then to the parish. Vertical coherence and coordination, we know that there are partners who are at the local government. I mean, the partners will majorly be doing their work in the 10 locations the country director has mentioned. And at Office of the Prime Minister, we want to keep looking out for vertical coherence and coordination. Our policy gives the Ministry of Local Government mandate to ensure that local government implementation issues are coordinated, and we work together with them to ensure that. But we want local governments, as they implement the national policies, to be mindful of the decentralized structures to facilitating local coordination. We have noticed that coordination seems to stop at the national level. The structures are mentioned at the national level. And when you get down, we haven't seen a strong semblance of the coordination, and we want the nutrition architecture, which we have mentioned, or the diagram we have just shown you, to take the lead in ensuring that other government departments and agencies and the different departments of the local governments can implement or be coordinated to implement the services there. And want local authorities be motivated to comply with and influence national policies upward, much as the policies are given from here. We want that influence. We can't dictate policies. We want participation. And in nutrition, you have an advantage that you are on the ground and you know the ground realities, and it would be good if you are able to guide policy at the top. We know that you have your own room to create ordinances or bylaws with the various councils, but we also require that you feed into the national policies where issues are in. Please make this architecture a framework or a vehicle for us to receive the issues that need address. And local authorities are accountable to the demands of civil society. We want you, as you look up to government, to finalize the policies, also to be mindful of the voice of the civil society. And if I'm talking to civil society members who are here, plus local governments, I will now say that we want your voice. We want you to speak more, we want to hear you more, so that we're able to improve our policies. There has been the concern that we bring policies when they are at the tail end, but there has also been a concern that civil society comes in to criticize policies at the tail end. So we request that you keep into the whole cycle from formulation to implementation, so that we go it together and eat the fruits together. We want you to be able to build on existing decentralized structures. There are some that are specified by the Local Government Act that can be handy in doing your work, but there are also some that we are proposing where something is working and is similar to ours. Please ensure that you harness that and we avoid duplications or reinventing the wheel, even at that level. And we also avoid reproducing the intersectoral program cooperation. We also require you to reproduce the intersectoral program cooperation arrangements at their locations. So the arrangements that are at national level or the best practices, please let them come up at those 10 locations. Expected results: we expect improved partnerships at all levels. We expect improved planning, strengthened institutional and technical capacity, improved advocacy, communication, and social mobilization. We expect coherent policy, legal frameworks, development and implementation for nutrition, and also expect improved nutrition evidence and knowledge management when we have done what we should do in light of what I've just presented. Opportunities that you have, we are strengthening our UNAP Secretariat at the Office of the Prime Minister, and as we kick off this UNAP 2, it's true it has been here for a year, but has been moving in line with the implementation of NDP 3, and we know this is an opportunity for us to partner. And the platforms I have mentioned, please take advantage, and there are some, there's one in particular which you squarely fall under, the one for civil society, under the SUN movement. Then we expect you to also take advantage of the terms of reference for the coordination structures that have been developed and have been given to you already. Then the nutrition governance training materials, the manuals, and also the nutrition advocacy and communication strategy for UNAP 2. We expect you also take advantage of the parish development model approach as a last mile for delivery of nutrition services. It has got 7 pillars, and I would call upon the project and the partners to be mindful of those pillars, and where you fit, please do the needful and support the success of the parish development model. The potential collaboration areas are that the project would work with the UNAP Secretariat and other non-state actors to support establishment and strengthening functionality of the civil society network, academic and research institutions network. These ones we haven't gone much, and for the business we are somewhere, but we want you to support us so that we have all these up and running, because they are your own networks, and we know that these collaboration areas will also become benefits for you in the long run. And working closely with the Minister of Local Government and UNAP Secretariat to strengthen coordination of implementation of district nutrition action plans in the 10 project districts. We have got support from World Bank and some other partners in developing nutrition development plans at the districts, and several districts now have them, and want you to take advantage of this where you already fall into that bracket, but even where you don't, Office of the Prime Minister, we are ready to partner with you and our multi-sectoral project under Minister of Agriculture to ensure that you can learn good practices even in those. But even there's an intention to upscale the current district support under the World Bank project in the Minister of Agriculture. And another collaboration area is supporting the implementation of the sub-regional based nutrition advocacy, social mobilization, and behavior change communication campaign, and also implementation of the UNAP 2 monitoring and evaluation plan, and also to work with MDAs to scale up coverage of UNAP 2 nutrition interventions identified under Objective 1 and 2 in the project districts. Thank you for listening to me. For God and my country.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Joses. Ladies and gentlemen, another applause. Thank you. Thank you so much, Commissioner. IT, I'll ask you to help me with the screen. I don't know whether it will be the next, it will be the same. Okay, thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for that brief remark from Jose Tegeza, giving us the platform and also the mechanisms through which government is working to ensure that all children in this country are well nourished, but also we are well coordinated in our actions within the realm of the Vision 2040, NDP 3, and also as indicated, the UNAP 2. So, Right Honorable Justin, Deputy Head of Mission, allow me at this point also to recognize that in our midst is Honorable Milton Muuma, who is the Chairperson of the Parliamentary Alliance on Food and Nutrition. Milton, you're welcome. Yes, Milton, I know on the agenda we had someone from agriculture, but at some point I'll just ask you to say one or two words before the Right Honorable speaks. Ladies and gentlemen, we have limited time. The Right Honorable gave us only 2 hours, and already we are about to end that piece she gave us. So we are moving very fast. You see, breakfast is somehow not on the agenda, but we have breakfast behind there. We are still trying to see how we shall manage, but hopefully we are thinking we can have the statements. Then after the launch, we can have a full-blown meal. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, and in the interest of time, allow me to invite the Right2Grow coordinator, Bwana Gerard Kato, who's with us here, so that he can give us an overview of the Right2Grow. After that, hopefully we shall have the Deputy Head of Mission have his remarks. Then we shall go into the official opening, official launch of this Right2Grow project, so that we are within the time frame, and by the time the dignitaries speak, they have a clear perspective of the Right2Grow project. So at this moment, Gerard Kato will take us through the project in Uganda and its inspirations very briefly, have some few testimonies to share with us, and hopefully in 20 minutes he'll be done, and then we'll be going into the official high-level opening session where we shall have our dignitaries share with us, and also hopefully our colleague from Parliament will also give us some brief highlights and also invite our guest of honor, since really Parliament is part of us, and we believe that through their work we can be able to develop this country together. So, Gerard, over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kundo. Right Honorable Minister, Your Excellency, the Deputy Head of Mission, and all our guests, I wanted to really thank and commend your office, Honorable Minister, for giving Right2Grow support from the time we began developing this proposal in 2020. Commissioner Tegeza worked with us at a point of the design. The same to Charles Asimwe. We sat with them in a room for one day, trying to see how do we develop a proposal that is aligned to government, but also responds to the existing realities our country is facing in relation to nutrition. So I feel it's very important to acknowledge and thank them for giving us support. And this has been continuous. From that time up to now, they have worked with us in this journey. So I want to thank you very much, Commissioner Tegeza and Chancellor Simwe, for believing in Right2Grow, but also for supporting our work. Honorable Minister, my country director, Dr. Deize, already mentioned about Right2Grow as a consortium of 8 partners in Uganda, but with support from the Dutch government, which is going to be running for 5 years, from 2021 to 2025. This is also a multi-country project happening also in other 4 countries in Africa, including South Sudan, Ethiopia, Burkina Faso, and Mali. I want to mention the partners. They've already been mentioned, but most of them are already here. I must commend and thank Pade from World Vision, Agnes from the Alliance, Mariam from ACF, Dr. Gaston from the Society. Thank you all for coming to be part of this milestone. Honorable Minister, Right2Grow is a project, like I mentioned, that is funded by the Dutch government under the Power of Voices subsidy. That word itself, Power of Voices, is very central to our work and aspiration of the program. In Uganda, like I mentioned, we are a couple of partners working in 10 districts. We have World Vision Uganda leading our work in Bulisa, Kamwenge, and Kakumiro. We have ACF leading our work in Yumbe, Kikube, and Ajumani. Maybe to add, ACF is literally leading our work in the refugee communities, which I know also is very key for your office as Prime Minister. While Hunger Project, as a lead partner, we are leading work in Kabale, Maracha, Nyoya, and Bugweri. The 3 are the strategic partners, but also we have national partners. Like I mentioned, this grant or this funding or this program is premised on the power of voices. And we have a very strong commitment to the concept of shift the power. We believe in localization. We believe in the community-led development agenda. And because of that, we also have national partners. For example, Food Rights Alliance is leading our work on issues of food security advocacy, but also on linking and learning, to promote learning across the consortium. While CSBAG is leading our work on budget monitoring and expenditure tracking, while SCF leads our monitoring and evaluation work. The question could be, why Right2Grow? Why do we feel and strongly believe at this point in time it's very important to have a program that addresses issues of nutrition? Honorable Minister, today in Uganda, we have a total hungry population at 10.9 million. A total hungry population which has no access to adequate food, standing at 10.9 million as per the IPC 2017 report. While acute malnutrition is at 195,000, while at the same time, school-going children who can't access a meal are at 66%. Now with COVID, this number, if we began school tomorrow, this number could be high. Whereas, having seen issues of nutrition, we clearly also appreciate and understand that sanitation and wash equally affect the overall outcome on nutrition. 50% of malnutrition of children who are malnourished report diarrhea and intestinal worm infections, whereas also 8% mothers with children have no access to water and soap for hand washing. We have also seen the impact of COVID, how it has put even more children under 5 at increased risk. So Right2Grow is looking at increasing 3 domains. Investment in the 3 domains around food security, wash, and nutrition to be able to enhance overall outcomes on nutrition. I will briefly talk about our state of change and what we intend to see happen after the 5 years of this program. Our dream is to see every child in Uganda able to reach their full potential. And we know we can get there if we have children under 5 well nourished. And our medium-term impact is to see government decision makers and all other key stakeholders jointly and effectively addressing nutrition in a multi-sectoral, gender-sensitive, and inclusive way. And for us to do this, we have identified some common fertilizing strategies. One of them is to place issues of gender and equity at the center of our intervention. We intend to work with all the marginalized populations as much as possible, especially younger mothers, especially children with disability, especially all key actors in the food system, to ensure that the program is inclusive as much as possible. Our second strategy is to promote ownership of local organizations. We want to see how we build capacity of local CSOs to be at the center of driving and advocating for good nutritional practices at community level. The other strategy, we want to work with the private sector. Number of times, development interventions don't seem to pay a lot of attention to private sector players. Right2Grow is very committed to work and partner and learn from the private sector in relation on how we can improve nutrition services in Uganda. We have 4 outcomes. The first outcome we are looking at is to create awareness and build capacity at grassroots level to see how communities adapt good nutrition practices. The second outcome, we want to see how we can build capacity of local partners to be able to effectively navigate the civic space in a way that brings an enabling environment for good implementation of nutrition, food security, and WASH plans and policies. Then our third outcome, we want to work with government, both at central government level and local government level, to build the capacity of coordination committees within the framework of a sectoral approach to see how issues of nutrition, issues of WASH, gain a springboard and a footprint within conversations at sub-county level, at district level, even at parish level within the frameworks of the parish development model, to ensure that plans and budgets are responsive to issues of nutrition, WASH, and food security. Then our last outcome, Honorable Minister, is to work with donors. I'm happy the ambassador, the deputy head of mission is here. We want to see how we can have a conversation with government actors to realign their funding and support to promote and support issues of malnutrition, to have aligned funding so that we can have increased financing to malnutrition issues in the country. As we launch this program, what are our call to action? What would we want to see happen? To government of Uganda, we know a lot has been done, but we would request to see a more increased investment for nutrition-specific and sensitive interventions. Local government entities want to see how we jointly strengthen district nutrition coordination committees with strong emphasis on parish, how we can implement and embrace the parish development model and the 7 pillars therein. Civil society want to see how do the civil society provide technical support and complement government interventions and also strengthen CSO networks and platforms. And like I mentioned, we would request to see how international development actors and donors support increased funding for nutrition in Uganda. As I end my presentation, Honorable Minister, we invited a younger mother from Kabale who gave birth at a young age. We felt it was important for her to share her experience and her journey as a younger mother, the situation she faced while trying to provide her baby good feeding. Charlotte from Kabale Kituma Sub-County, I want to invite you to share briefly your experience. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Minister, His Excellency the Ambassador. Honorable Minister, His Excellency the Ambassador, the Country Director, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Ahadi Msasharet Mawa from Chitumba Sub-County. I'm a teenager mother, 2 years. He's a son. So, to share my testimony here, I've passed through. I gave birth when I was 18. And I gave birth after joining the local government Kabale district. At 18 years, I had just finished my A-level. Then I get the opportunity to join the service in 2018, 1st May. I gave birth on 15th Feb 2019. So I've passed through much. First of all, I'm a single mother, I'm a teenage mother, I'm underage. I've been able to be there for my kid. Sometimes you find you're forced to go out to work very early. You have to leave your kid behind with the maid. You're earning little salary, because my salary scale is U8, that is 208,000. You find you have to pay rent. You're neglected in the community. Sometimes you don't even get like that you get like, let's say someone to educate you more about nutrition, so you just take the kid anyhow. So you find sometimes you're neglecting the kid. You don't give much time to the kid. The child, hence that is malnutrition. You find your kid is stunted. Now like my kid is 2 years. But when you see him, you can just say, is this kid 1 year, 2 years? You can ask yourself, because he's stunted. I don't give him time. I'm forced to go at work in the morning. Before, I was forced to stop breastfeeding him at 1 year because of work. I have to concentrate on work. I could lose time. I breastfeed him in the morning and then in the evening after work. There, you know, that breast milk you've been with in the breast is not nutritious to the kid. You find the kid is not like growing fast like that mother who stays with the kid 24 hours. So we are passing through. So I would recommend the government to at least increase on this maternity leave period from 3 months at least to 6 months.
Okay, thank you so much, Sharon. Thank you so much. Sorry, we couldn't proceed, Sharon. Thank you so much for that. Ladies and gentlemen, another applause to Sharon and Gerard. I think the message is very clear. There's a challenge of maternity, but also the challenge of teenage pregnancy. And we encourage that really we support each other to try and bring an end to that type of challenge to improve the dignity of children and their mothers. Ladies and gentlemen, we are time-barred. The minister has been invited on short notice for another event, so we are trying to cut short the program. But it would be unfortunate if the minister spoke without the ambassador. So at this moment, I will invite the ambassador to have a few remarks, the Deputy Head of Mission, and thereafter he will invite our Right Honorable Minister, Justin Kasule Lumumba, to address this meeting and launch the project. So, Right Honorable, allow me to change the microphone. This one was sanitized earlier for our guest from Netherlands. Thank you. The microphone as well. Thank you.
Perfect. Right Honourable Minister, the Director of and the consortium members and all invited guests, thank you very much for having me here. My name is Joost van Etro. I'm the Head of Cooperation of the Netherlands Embassy here in Kampala, and it's really my privilege to be amongst you for this launch. We're here to launch the Right2Grow partnership, which is a partnership for Uganda that aims at reducing malnutrition, stunting and wasting in children under 5 years of age, which ultimately enables them to reach their full potential. We all know that children need proper nutrition to grow up, as we just also heard from this young mother who is struggling to stay healthy and strong. You are what you eat. That's something that we all know and hear from our parents. And what our children eat today will have a lasting effect on their health, both now and in the future. And this is the ultimate goal of this project. So allow me to congratulate the Hunger Project and its consortium members for putting the issues of child nutrition, especially in the first 5 years of life, so high on the national partnership agenda. At the outset, let me mention what the Netherlands Embassy cares about the Right2Grow project. The statistics show that almost 1/3 of children under 5 years in Uganda is stunted due to malnutrition. This weakens Uganda's economy through losses in productivity. And the combined effect of malnutrition on healthcare costs and education traps families in a vicious cycle of poverty. Tackling malnutrition is crucial for achieving the SDGs and for the efforts by the Ugandan government aimed at reducing all forms of malnutrition, especially for children under 5 years. You have great policies in place like the Uganda Vision 2040 that aims to transform the Ugandan society for peasants, from a peasant to a modern and prosperous society, the National Development Plan 3 and the Uganda Nutrition Action Plan, which also was alluded to by the Commissioner before us. The Netherlands government cares about this nutrition ambition and would like to position itself as a trusted and strategic partner to support the Ugandan government efforts in scaling up nutrition. We believe that when the economic, social, cultural, political and civil rights of every child are adequately protected, children will also realize the right to survival and development. However, the reality is governments cannot play this role alone. Private sector, civil society have a unique role of not only supporting government efforts, but also creating demand and building consciousness towards the importance of nutrition. I expect the Right2Grow consortium to play this crucial role. As an embassy, we already have several projects, like a food security, in which we support your ambition. For example, the parent-led school milk feeding program under the dairy sector, which is implemented. The Right2Grow project, which we're launching today, is another example of our support as the Netherlands to nutrition efforts in Uganda. So allow me again to take this opportunity to congratulate the consortium and its partners for reaching this milestone of launching a 5-year program today. As I conclude, let me stress that this project is considered of key importance towards addressing malnutrition in Uganda. So I call upon the government to provide a conducive environment and to continue investing in nutrition as a way of ending all forms of malnutrition for children under 5 years. This one? Perfect. Thanks. The Dutch Embassy will remain open to conversations and initiatives with the government, civil society organizations, private sector, and all other stakeholders, aimed at sustaining the efforts towards addressing the challenges of malnutrition in Uganda. So I wish you best of luck in implementing this program in your strong cooperation together as government and civil society.
Thank you so much, Deputy Head of Mission. Ladies and gentlemen, another applause to our guest from the Netherlands. Apologies for that small hiccup. I think it was a small wire which had a challenge, and now it has been fixed. We really apologize for that. But ladies and gentlemen, you agree with me that the Netherlands government, and indeed the Kingdom and the people of the Netherlands, have been so generous to Uganda, as indicated, to support us in this endeavor, but also they are supporting us in other initiatives, like he said, including the school milk program in southwestern Uganda and other initiatives under their custody. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, protocol is difficult now, and allow me at this point to invite Honorable Muma. I know we are time bad, but you'll bear with us, and within 1-2 minutes, invite the Right Honorable Prime Minister. Right Honorable Minister, representing the Prime Minister. Thank you.
The Right Honorable Minister, representing the Prime Minister at this launch, Your Excellency, representative of the Ambassador, Dr. Daisy, the Regional Director, the Hunger Project, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my grandfather used to tell me that whenever you are put on notice that the big drum is around, you should always be cognizant of time. And I'm going to respect that instruction that was given to me at my infant stage. I want to thank in a special way our partners for coming up with this consortium that is bringing different stakeholders together. As members of parliament, I think we should say we've got a belonging. And I wanted to just inform the Commissioner, Commissioner Tegesa, when you are mentioning some areas of collaboration and networking, you just missed the parliament by a whisker. Because we have very, very, very vibrant fora in parliament. There's the Food and Nutrition Alliance in parliament, which I coordinate and chair. We have the Food Security Forum. We have the Children's Forum. And before I came here, we were making a press conference at Parliament regarding the same issue of nutrition and having our children vaccinated in preparation for opening of schools. Permit me, Right Honorable, to first recognize my colleague, the woman MP for Kabarole District, Honorable Linda Irene. Thank you for honoring this invitation. And I thank the partners who considered some of us who represent the areas that you are operating in. I come from Iganga District, where the Hunger Project Uganda is very vibrant and key. Iganga, Bugweri, among other districts. So my sister was also invited in the same vein that she's representing areas of focus. Right Honorable, I should take advantage. You being known for being action-packed. For the last 15 years, we've been pushing government to have a food and nutrition policy launched in Uganda. But we have had a challenge of bickering between two key ministries. Minister of Education saying we should be the ones in charge of this policy. Minister of Health has been at it. And you being the key coordinator, we are requesting and appealing to you that you fast track this policy to ensure that we have it in place. It will help a great deal. It is the same government that we are serving, so this thing of saying who is who, it should not deter us or derail us any further or any longer. Right Honorable, permit me thank in a special way the Hunger Project Uganda for the great work you've been doing or you are doing in our country. Thank all the other civil society organizations, more so the launch that you're about to do. I thank them for coming together. I'm only concerned that whereas our project is supposed to run for 5 years, we are almost 1 year down the road. So we need to scale up our efforts in advancing the issues highlighted. Without wasting time, thank you so much, Right Honorable, for honoring this great invitation. I wish you good luck and pray that we work together as parliamentarians. We are ready to partner with you, collaborate with you in one way or another. I remain Muuma Milton Kalulu, MP Kigulu South Iganga. Thanks very much, Right Honorable. Permit me take the rare honor and rare opportunity of inviting you to speak to us, thereafter have our project officially launched. You are welcome.
Thank you so much, Honorable Milton Muuma, the Chairperson of the Parliamentary Forum on Nutrition. Members of Parliament present, Your Excellencies, the ambassadors, most especially the head of mission representing our big partner in this effort, this journey to do with nutrition, representatives from the various government ministries and agencies, members of the Right2Grow consortium, most especially the coordinator present with us here of the Hunger Project, and the whole team that you work with, those here, those online, and those who have not managed to be with us. all members present and those online, ladies and gentlemen, but also those who help us pass the message to the people who we want to get the message. That's the media. I bring apologies from the Prime Minister, Right Honorable Robin Anabanja, who has not been able to make it today because of the various demands before her as the leader of government business, but also she's also in a place where the effort is the same, issues to do with nutrition. She went to Chankwan's in the retreat with the top leadership of the Ministry of Agriculture to see that they harmonize all their operations, including policy formulation and streamlining different issues in the ministry. And you know, when we talk about nutrition, that's also a key ministry which is part of us in this journey. So it is my pleasure to join you this early afternoon to have this discussion. Allow me to start by thanking each of you for what in advance the work you are doing to make sure we handle the issue to do with nutrition. The contribution you are making to our country is enormous. You have demonstrated how important nutrition is to the advancement of any country, Uganda inclusive. I wish to thank the country steering committee of the Right2Grow program for inviting me to preside over the launch of this important program. I'm deeply honored to be one of you at this launch as we work to improve on nutrition and water for sanitation and also hygiene, which you call WASH, which is a condition that you have put forward in the districts where you are working. The districts you have mentioned, Kamwenge, Bulisa, Kakumiro, Ajumani, Arua, Chikube, Noya, Maracha, Bugweri, and Kabale. I want to thank you for the 10 districts, but if you observe in this country, we have 18 historical sub-regions or sub-zones. If you look at these, we have left out some. So it's the responsibility, my commissioner, to make sure we get a district in all the remaining sub-regions, because it's in the Constitution where it is clearly spelled out, equitable distribution of resources. And when you are talking about nutrition, it is very costly for a country to have stunted population. So we should also have these as sub-regions where we should extend to make sure we have districts that will be the role models in the different sub-zones. Because in here there is no Karamoja, in here we don't have Buked, in here we don't have Bugisu, in here we don't have Sebei, so we must look at all of those. But even when we go to other regions, I can mention all since I know, but it's not for now, but it's more we have to go back to the drawing board and bring the other regions also to have model districts in this journey. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope with pleasure that the Right2Grow Uganda program envisages to work with this local civil society organization, nutrition-relevant government ministries, departments and agencies, platforms, and this is where I want to recognize the parliamentary platform. If you want whatever you are doing to be known, to be appreciated, to be allocated resources, Parliament is a very big platform that you must make sure you work with closely. And I want to thank you, members of Parliament who are here, for the work you are doing to foster and make sure we register success in this journey to do with the nutrition. The campaigning entities, the local media, and collaborate closely with the Dutch Embassy in Uganda. I want to take this opportunity to thank the Dutch Embassy and the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Please, we appreciate the efforts. The Right2Grow program is also well aligned to the Vision 2040 that aims to transform the Ugandan society from a peasant to a modern and prosperous Uganda. You cannot transform a community where people are stunted. And when people are stunted, yes, you've talked about the issue to do with the height and the issue to do with the growth of the brain, but there is also the issue to do with the life expectancy. Communities that have issues with the food, their life expectancy is low. And it becomes so costly for government to train to work in such communities after they've worked on the mindset change of certain individuals in the community. Taxpayers' money have been spent in such communities. Then they go to meet the creator, telling you to go back and bring together another group to work with you to make sure you achieve your development goals as a country. So you keep moving in the same cycle. And the reason is because you didn't pay much attention to them when they were still young. And as you talk about nutrition, please also emphasize the issue of covering well the children with warm clothing when they are young. This is some component that experts keep leaving out. I'm not an expert, but I read a lot on issues to do with this subject. If you observe our communities where life expectancy is low, there is also the component of covering children when they are young for their organs to grow. When children are not covered properly when they are young, their organs don't grow properly. And because they get that deficiency at that level, you find them leaving the world early. And then you think there is a problem in that community. But simply because, coupled with nutrition, but also proper covering of a baby, those become issues. The UNAP 2, the Nutrition Action Plan 2, outlines strategies to address nutrition needs of all population groups in Uganda, with a special emphasis to children under 5 years, school-age children, adolescents, pregnant and lactating women, and other vulnerable groups by 2025. I want to take this opportunity to recognize Charlotte. When she was presenting, I want you to know when you are presenting here, you are presenting on behalf of a group which we are all targeting, we who are here and those who are not here. But she has raised something that I want us to note as people in government, that even if she got a job when she was 18, the salary she's earning, despite the fact that she was lucky to get a job with the government, but the salary she's earning is not enough to take care of her and her children, her one child. And yet we expect her to go to Kabale district office, local government office, and deliver when what she has is not even enough to keep her comfortable. That means we also have to look at that. Those who are working with government, but those who are also not working with government, should also be looked at, especially what they take home. Is it enough for that person to be able to meet the minimum requirements for the child to grow properly? The Right2Grow program will contribute to Objective 3 that seeks to strengthen the enabling environment of scaling up nutrition in Uganda at all levels by strengthening district and sub-county nutrition coordination committees. The program will contribute significantly in the implementation of the parish development model across the 7 pillars in the 10 districts. I want to request you that let's bring it down to the parish level. Let's not stop at the sub-county. Let's pull it down to the parish level. When you look at the parish development model, what happens? Most people are paying much emphasis on money. But if you observe, there is the issue of mindset. Once we've worked on the issue of mindset of the parish chiefs and the coordination committees at the parish level, we shall be able to achieve. Because that means that that committee will even be able to go and inspect people's homes and find out whether the children are receiving proper feeding. And if there is no proper feeding, what is missing? What can be done? And these are the people who are going to challenge us in government, who are dilly-dallying on feeding children in schools, children in P1 and P2, we expect them to go home minus food, to go to school without food. And we expect them to sit and study and understand and appreciate what the teachers are telling them to do. And yet in this country, we have areas where there is high production of milk, but the market is low. So you find in Ankole there is milk in plenty, the prices are low, but the children in Buked can't access that milk. Then you find we have maize in Bunyoro in plenty, but the children in Busoga don't have enough food because we grew sugar cane. And yet those in Bunyoro would also want to buy the sugar, but their purchasing power for the sugar is low. You see how complicated it is? Where we have in plenty, we should transfer that to another area. When we had lockdown, we had eggs on the streets nearly being given out. But we had people, we have children who needed those eggs. So this program calls for government, we in government, reorganize ourselves and even provide local market to what we are producing. The moment we increase the purchasing power of the people, then we'll be able to provide the market. But even if we don't increase the purchasing power, it's about we in government making sure a child in school, or at least P1 to P3 for a beginning, can be able to have just a quarter liter of milk per week. And also have maize in whatever form, wherever, even if it's a snack. We'll be helping both the farmer, but also helping our children. The farmer will have access to market, but at the same time, our children will be getting good nutrition. So, as we discuss this, my commissioners, this is something that the private sector is whipping us in a way. They are telling us, please, increase speed. And I'm here to say we shall increase speed. Therefore, the stated dream of Right2Grow, which is for every child to be able to reach their full potential, and no child under 15 are undernourished, is aligned to the SDG 2.2, and it states its stated objective of ending all forms of malnutrition by 2030, including achieving by 2025 the internationally agreed targets on stunting and wasting in children under 5 years of age is a noble one. As you very well know, nutrition is something that is very dear to us as government. Uganda was one of the first countries that signed on the SOON initiative, and nutrition was quickly embraced by the highest level of government, and through the Uganda Nutrition Action Plan, vested the coordination of implementation of nutrition to the Office of the Prime Minister, to be specific under general duties, for which I'm now the one heading. This was to ensure that nutrition issues get entrenched in all governance levels in the entire government structures, right, lower units of local governments up to ministries. Therefore, the actual implementation of nutrition actions is a mandate of ministries, departments, and agencies of government and local government, supported by the non-state actors like the Right2Grow consortium members. In September 2020, government approved the second Uganda National Action Plan, Uganda Nutrition Action Plan, as the country's framework for scaling up nutrition for the period 2020-2025. One of the 18 strategies for the UNAP2 is to promote maternal, infant, young child, and adolescent nutrition, to which the Right2Grow program will significantly contribute. As government, we are therefore pleased to note that the HANG Project Uganda is leading the Right2Grow consortium partners in Uganda, and will work closely with UNAP implementing ministries, departments, and agencies under the leadership of the UNAP Secretariat in the Office of the Prime Minister to contribute to the implementation of the 3 strategic objectives of the Uganda Nutrition Action Plan 2020-2025. So you have the right person, you have the right people here today. You have Kasule Lumumba as the Minister General Duties in charge of this, but I also have my commissioners here, my technical team, that we will work with, that will work with you, but also most importantly, I want to thank you. It is the responsibility of government, but you come in handy to help us to deliver. I want to say thank you. Whereas it is a fact that Uganda has made some achievements in reducing the rate of undernutrition, we take cognizance of the fact that we still have big nutritional challenges to deal with. The results of the recent Uganda Demographic and Health Survey showed that stunting was at 29%, that was by WUBOS, and that was basically 2012 and 2017, and micronutrient deficiencies are still a very big challenge, since with 53% of children 6 to 59 months old and 33% of women of reproductive age affected by anemia. The same report reported inadequate number of meals in households. Other micronutrient deficiencies are also still high. Majority of Ugandans consume less than the recommended 3 meals per day, with 51.4% consuming 2 meals per day, while 12% consume 1 meal per day. Those are figures given by WUBOS of 2016. But also, as we talk of those who have either 2 meals or 1 meal, but even those with the 2 meals, when you look at the calories, they are still very low, not even half of what a mature person should have, of what a child should have. This food and nutrition situation adversely affects the well-being of our people and hinders the economic development of our country. And I explained this before. Without adequate nutrition, it will be very hard for Uganda to meet sustainable development goals, the SDGs targets. This calls for hard work for all the stakeholders, such as Right2Grow and other development partners, to ensure we meet our development goals. And I also want to inform you that the SDGs, the Secretariat, and also fall under general duties, where I'm the minister and I'm the focal minister for SDGs. So I'm in the right place with the right people. You are also here in the right place with the right person and with the right team. Allow me to send our appreciation through the ambassador to thank the Dutch government for providing financial support under the Power of Voices funding stream for the Right2Grow program. Apart from this program, the Dutch government has over the years partnered with Ugandan government to tackle development challenges and cause socio-economic emancipation of Ugandans. We deeply appreciate this partnership. I wish to congratulate members of the Right2Grow consortium implementers, namely the Hang Project, World Vision Uganda, Action Against Hang Uganda, with technical support of CEGAA as strategic partners for enabling this important program. To mention but a few, because I don't know all of you yet, but we are going to work together. I will get to know you even in the field, even to your offices for courtesy calls. I also wish to congratulate the local partners that include Food Rights Alliance, Nutrition Society of Uganda, Community Integrated Development Initiative, Movement for Community-Led Development, Uganda Chapter. I also wish to appeal to the local partners and all the local civil society organizations to always declare their implementation budgets to the districts where they are operating, so that as government we know how much effort the development partners are doing in to improve the livelihood of the communities and the people in those areas. This will help us on issues to do with accountability, but also form the basis for allocation of resources for this particular activity. When we talk about food security, the brain development and the body development of a child, food is what has helped us most importantly, during this COVID-19 pandemic. Our nutrition availability of food, even if the calories are low, has helped us. We wouldn't have survived it if we didn't have food. But we have food in most of the areas because God gave us a good country, good soils, good environment. Though we are destroying it, but we still have chances of correcting where mistakes have been made, but also taking advantage of what is available. Uganda in the world is the second country with organic soil. We tap into that. So when you get what is grown in the villages, minus whatever has been added on as chemicals, you get proper food. And that has helped our people to fight COVID-19 pandemic, that some of them could not even tell whether they got it or not because of the nature, the good country God gave us. I want to, the issue of the food policy, where the chairperson of the nutrition platform in Parliament has said we have had issues. I think as the minister still in charge of coordination in the office of the Prime Minister, we are going to work on it because we are all the same government, different ministries, but all working to serve the same community, given a mandate by the same community. So we have no reason of not getting to where we want to be because everybody wants to take charge of a small kingdom called the ministry. It is a shame to us. And I want to apologize to Ugandans because when the MP says this, having been a Secretary General of NRM for the last 6 years, it means I'm also part of the problem. So since we have identified the problem, we should be the people to find a solution. We are going to work on that together with you. I want to take this opportunity. What we are launching?
Right Honorable, we shall be signing there. Try to stand there. Yes, Gerard Kato is there with the sanitizer and the marker. Right Honorable, you'll be the first. You just sign. We have put your name, as you can see. It's the Right2Grow Uganda 2021-2025, enabling every child to reach their full potential, launched on 30th September 2021 at Fairway Hotel by Right Honorable Justin Kasule Lumumba, Minister, Office of the Prime Minister in charge of General Duties. So maybe you can proceed, Right Honorable.
Yes,
and
it
sign.
is now my pleasure to launch the Right2Grow program on behalf of the government of Uganda.
Yes, gentlemen and ladies, the Right Honorable Justin Kasule Lumumba is signing, and we're really grateful. We have a big clap and an applause, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Then it will be followed by the Deputy Head of Mission, first of all by Honorable Milton Muuma. It can be in that order, not to... okay, thank you very much. Yes, sanitizing. Yes, thank you so much. Honorable Muuma. Thank you so much. Then we shall have the Deputy Head of Mission. Sanitizer, please. Deputy Head of Mission, Your Excellency. There is Owomugasho from the Hunger Project. After that, we shall have anthem, since the minister will be leaving, but then the meeting will continue with lunch. So, but Right Honorable, we shall be glad. I don't know if you have time. And there's a good picture. Yes, there's a group picture. Thank you very much. So, thank you very much. As they keep standing, I was requesting a few come in the group photo. Okay. they bring our board. Then the partners in the room, Hunger Project, I see the commissioner, colleagues, a few can join the picture. Food Rights Alliance, SEGAD. Oh, there were some t-shirts as well, okay? First come for the picture, please. First come for the group photo. Action Against Hunger. Please, the minister is moving. Let's move forward. World Vision, Save the Children. The honorables, yes. Please, please. If it's, some can stand on the side. The camera can be rolling. Okay. As we close this officially, but then we shall continue with the agenda. Or Uganda at least. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is officially launched. The Right2Grow is officially launched in Uganda. Some pleasantries there for the minister, some t-shirts. Feel free to grab a cup of tea, some meals. Gerard now can hand over. Yes, Gerard.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rukundo. Thank you, Dr. Daisy, for handing over the souvenirs from Right2Grow to the Honorable Minister and the ambassador.
So let's stand as the minister leads, ladies and gentlemen, and we wave to her to say bye-bye and thank you. Yes. Thank you very much.
Yes, colleagues, our program will continue. We ran through it because we felt it was important to give a chance to the minister to give her remarks. I would request that we settle and conclude the program. What's the time? Colleagues, we have tea that was prepared for us since morning. We could have it now, and maybe after we shall continue with the program, and then we'll have lunch. But I want, in a special way also, to appreciate members of Parliament who have joined our launch. I want to introduce Honorable Asera Stephen, MP Buhaguzi Kikube District. Kikube is one of the Right2Grow implementing districts. Thank you, Honorable Stephen. Thank you for coming. We have another member of Parliament. Stephen, yes, I've introduced him.
Every child has a right to grow. Though Uganda registered a substantial reduction in the prevalence of stunting over the last 15 years from 45% in 2000 to 29% in 2016, undernutrition in all its forms continues to be a development challenge. Malnutrition threatens to destroy a generation of children in Uganda. More than a third of all young children, 2.4 million children, are starved. Poor hygiene habits can lead to long-term side effects like scabies, public lice, head lice, diarrhea, athlete's foot, ringworms, and pinworms. Contaminated water sources transmit diseases such as diarrhea, cholera. To address the underlying determinants of undernutrition, it's our joint responsibility to end malnutrition, hunger, poor hygiene, and sanitation, and provide safe and clean water for all. Every child has a right to grow. Though Uganda registered a substantial reduction in the prevalence of stunting, donors and the international development actors should coordinate and collaborate along the humanitarian development nexus to address the underlying determinants of undernutrition. It's our joint responsibility to end malnutrition, hunger, poor hygiene, and sanitation, and provide safe and clean water for all. Every child has a right to grow. Though Uganda registered a substantial reduction in the prevalence of stunting over the last 15 years from 45% in 2000 to 29% in 2016, undernutrition in all its forms continues to be a development challenge. Malnutrition threatens to destroy a generation of children in Uganda. More than a third of all young children, 2.4 million children, are starved. Poor hygiene habits can lead to long-term side effects like scabies, public lice, head lice, diarrhea, athlete's foot, ringworms, and pinworms. Contaminated water sources transmit diseases such as diarrhea, cholera, polio, dysentery, and typhoid. The community can join hands to provide solutions on water and child nutrition, but they could only produce so little. The government should strengthen the nutrition coordination committees at the district and also at the sub-county levels. Families should be encouraged to grow nutritious vegetables to boost the immunity of their children. Donors and the international development actors should coordinate and collaborate along the humanitarian development nexus to address the underlying determinants of undernutrition. It's our joint responsibility to end malnutrition, hunger, poor hygiene, and sanitation, and provide safe and clean water for all. Every